She's separated from her family. She's separated from her friends. Where is she getting all of this money? Men. So I asked her, how you got this money? She told me, well, I got a boyfriend. I said, well, hold on there. I need one of them. So she introduced me to a site on MocoSpace. And MocoSpace.com, I created a profile and I began to talk to men on the profile in order to get a boyfriend. But see, the way that I was thinking in my innocence is that when you had a boyfriend, you had a knight in shining armor. When you had a boyfriend, it was something similar to Cinderella. When the evil mother, the stepmother and the stepsisters was, beating on you, and this knight in shining armor came to take you away, or something like, what's love got to do with it? You're in a worse situation going to another worse situation. These are the things that I was raised on. Love Jones, love in basketball, things that curated in my mind that if you wanted to get out of a bad situation, all you had to do was find someone that wanted to marry you or that wanted to make you their girlfriend. So this is what I was looking for. At this point, I didn't know much about sex. I was, sexually abused, but I didn't know much about sex. I was never, and I'm not trying to be TMI, but this is what y'all signed up for. I was never penetrated when I was sexually abused. It was only touch. So at this point, I'm sorry if the kids are there. My apologies. At this point, I'm opened up to a world full of things. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. So I met this man on MocoSpace.com. His name was Larry. Larry was very consistent with me. I talked to Larry almost 3 months on the phone, back to back. At the time, Larry would always send money if I needed money. And that was through Winn-Dixie at the time. Something called Western Union. Y'all got Cash App and Zelle and all of that now. But back then we didn't have that. So I would go to Winn-Dixie. I would get my money. I would pay my phone bill. And me and Larry would talk all the time. And for 3 months, I came home and I told this man all of my troubles that was happening at school, troubles that was happening at home, trouble that my mom wasn't picking up the phone in order to, regain a relationship with me after having me in her house for 10 years. Like, I was looking for love in a way that was very desperate. I was very desperate to have someone. And he knew that because he was a predator and I was the prey. But I was thinking, this is my man, my man, my man, my man, my man. Nobody could tell me anything wrong about this man until the day it was time for us to meet up. I finally said yes after talking 3 months on the phone. And when I met, when I met him in person, he took me from Broward County to Miami, Florida. And this was over a weekend. And I asked him, because I'm born and raised in Miami, I said, where are we? He said, well, we're still in Broward. And I knew he was lying to me. So I asked him again. I said, well, where are we? Like 30 minutes later, he says, okay, we're in Broward. So I'm like, okay, he's definitely intentionally lying to me. So I took my phone, I went on Facebook, and I posted every address that we were going to, and it's still on my Facebook to this day. And I wanted to make sure that if something happened to me, that they would be able to have a trail. We finally got to the hotel and he says, listen, I can't afford dinner, but I can afford a hotel and some Chinese food. So I'm thinking, well, I'm not an uppity girl. This man has been paying my little phone bill, which I thought was everything back then, $30. And he has been consistent with me. So why not go into a hotel room and talk with him? I had no idea that I was being presented for sex. I had no idea behind my back he was posting all the pictures that I was sending to him on Craigslist. Not Craigslist. There was another site that they shut down. I think it was Craigslist. They had a prostitute section, escort section in Craigslist back then. Craigslist and so many other things. And I was not aware. And so when we got to the hotel, he said, I'm going to get the Chinese food and I'll be right back. Long story short, because I'm not going to give gruesome details, Um, I was trafficked that night into the morning over and over and over and over again. It took my virginity. And when I decided to speak up about it, it was 2 months later. And I had gone with my social worker from school. She took me to a workshop with a beautiful company called Grace Place, Pace for Girls. And they were doing a workshop on human trafficking. See, God knows exactly what he's doing and how he's doing it and when he's doing it. And I was able to put a label to what happened to me that over that weekend at the White House Inn Hotel in North Miami Beach, Florida. I found out at that moment I was a human trafficking survivor. And did I immediately tell people what happened to me? No. Because you think, well, what are they gonna say about me? They're gonna say that this is my fault. They're gonna say I should have known better. You know, they have so many labels for little black girls. Oh, she fast and she grown. She always with grown men. And the labels I just did not want to hear. I did not want to I did not want to be under the microscope. I didn't want to feel the scrutiny because I definitely got scrutiny. And the number one thing I told myself is, how could you be so stupid? You knew better. Your mama told you not to get in a car with strangers. But the truth of the matter is that my mama wasn't there. Here come this man that tell me I'm beautiful, I'm worth something. It's totally opposite to me being a devil, me being bad, me being fast, me being grown. Totally opposite. He fostered me with a false love. And Ice T calls it putting down the Mac. He put down the Mac. He fostered me with a false love. So the signs, I'm gonna talk about the signs and we can piggyback off of what human trafficking and the signs of that was I was going to school and I was a totally different person. My personality had changed. I was an outgoing speaking person. I wasn't outgoing speaking anymore. I didn't have too much to say. I even further put myself in this box where I would never come out of my room. I barely ate. Sometimes I just would miss school because I didn't want to go to school. I would be in my bed, and then when truancy knocked on the door, I would let my group home staff handle it, let them speak. I didn't talk to my case managers or my social workers. I really did not have nothing to say. I was processing what happened to me. But when a person or when a system has already put a label on you, that we the system believes that young black girls are smart, young black girls are wise, young black girls can handle themselves, young black girls know what they doing, young black girl, they picture us black girls, well, I'm not a girl anymore, but black girls not as children. When you see us in social media, when you see us on TV, it's never on the Claritin Clear commercials. It's never the commercials where we're playing with dolls. But you have all of these commercials where we see our counterparts, little girls are running outside with their kites. They're running outside with their bubbles. But media has painted a picture that black women and black girls are only used for a subjective purpose. And what is that? To sell sex, sell their movies that are full of trauma. They paint a picture of what the black urban community looks like, and they've never stepped foot in our communities. So when you see strong women like Jasmine Crockett or Michelle Obama or all of these women that hold this great weight and great power as Black women, they're always under scrutiny because that's not what people are used to seeing. For us, it's we used to seeing that. If you went to a HBCU, you used to seeing Black excellence. If you look around the corner and you have successful people in your family, you're used to seeing it. But for most people, even in our own community, we're not seen as children. So even when I came forward, police and sometimes even FBI, and even when I went to do my affidavit, some of them made it seem like you had to be lying about your age. There's something that you had to do to veer him off of doing what he did. Even though I have a police report that stated when they caught my trafficker, he admitted to doing everything. It's in the police report. Yet in those moments when they questioned me, it seemed as if I was the predator and he was the prey. Well, why didn't you call the police when you got to the hotel? Oh, you didn't know what going to the hotel meant? You didn't know what spending the night at the hotel meant? What did you think was going to happen at the hotel? Why would you think that a child would have the education enough to understand what going to a hotel meant?
Wow. Tia, I truly appreciate you being vulnerable today. And you see, I let you go. I let you go, and I have tons of other people on here. They have to speak this evening, but your story is so special. And I know we lost about 10 minutes too with the technological difficulties, but I do want to stop you there to see if anybody has questions because I have to move on. But I want to know if anybody has, I see all the comments, all the hearts and everything. You have like you could have ran a Zoom by yourself, not Zoom, I keep saying Zoom, Google Meet. You could have ran this session by yourself tonight. I didn't even have to say a word or anybody else. Thank you, Dr. Ampah, for bringing her on. Like this was, I don't like to run over because I say it's 6:30 to 7:30, but I know we may run over just a few minutes, but we can't rush this process right here. Like I saw like the images and everything that she was saying, like it's no words. It's no words. And I want to see if anybody has a question or a comment for her, or you could just put it in the chat. If you want to say something to her, like she came on and she shared this horrific story, but look at her, she's still smiling and still moving on. Like it's still something good that came out of it, what she's able to share with others. So thank you all so much. And yeah, this is a touchy topic. That's why I put it out there. It's human trafficking. We had to talk about some things that we don't normally talk about. Okay, anybody has a comment or question, and I have to move on.
I'm not sure the agenda, Miss Tawana, but if nobody asks the question, I wanted to point out like some of the terminology that police use now, or public the service providers, because she's we see it so different from our community standpoint. But I wanted to point out, especially to the youth. And okay, so I think the dynamics that I love about you, being a assistant principal and bringing the community together with the school, is because when I was a student in my class, I was in all honor classes, and when everything was happening to me, I always asked, "Did anyone miss me?" And so to the educators, I want you to understand, like, because my grades were good, did you understand what I endured, right? My grades were amazing. And I kind of envied some of my friends, right? We were at school friends, but they always got the empathy because their parents always ended up they needed counseling, or because they lived in the bad side of the community, right? They lived in the projects. I didn't. I had both of my parents in my home. So don't miss those things in school.
Yes.
I had my father had his own business. I had my parents there. I was in all honor classes, but everybody missed the way I presented. I was taught to present well. And I had the mannerism to say and hold my grades. But the things that happened to me was unbearable, right? But I wanted to talk about when she talked about Larry. Larry was only paying the phone bill because there's a word that we use when we talk about this, even on a national level. It's called grooming. And so to the young kids, remember that grooming, they are already making sure that you know how to respond. They're taking and desensitizing you. They're desensitizing you. They don't think that they're doing it because they like you that much. No 50-year-old man likes you that much.
Mhm.
Why can't he like a 50-year-old woman?
Yes, yes.
Right? I wanted to use that word. And I'm gonna let you flow, Miss Tawana, because I know it's a time limit, but I did want it because to Atiya spoke a lot about her story, but there's a training part of this when we talk about force. We're used to hearing human trafficking the forceful way. That's what they
Yes.
portrayed it on the movies. It was force. You were snatched. But what about the fraud? What about the promises that they're gonna give you a job? They're gonna give you that lifestyle that you desire. It's fraud, right? And what about the coercion? Coercion is so tricky. Coercion is that uncomfortable place where all the pictures that you shared with them in secret, that they're gonna manipulate you with them now. They're gonna take those pictures to your church. They're gonna tell your family, they're gonna expose you. So you do this. Oh, I will let everybody know your mama, your mama, that you're this really this kind of girl, right? And so that's how I want you all to get it. Force, fraud, coercion. Force, you could probably see it. You're snatched, right? But many of us are not snatched. Many of us are not snatched. And I remember, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna let you go. I remember when we did the Super Bowl. When Super Bowl came to Miami Gardens, we all got on and we're gonna rally up about human trafficking. And I remember saying to the state attorney's office, you can't put scary pictures of these scary men on the
Yes.
billboard. I
Yes.
wouldn't go with a scary looking man. But the man who drives the nice car, the man who gives me and listens to me when I believe that my parents aren't listening, and I say this to the youth, what you post on social media, you being fit, it's not about being catfish. It's that what you post on social media, they will study you and they will manipulate that.
Yes.
Oh, she makes me sick. I
Yes.
can't stand her. They are
Yes.
listening. And
Yes.
the scary pictures of the scary men, you won't be a prey to them, but would you be a prey to your pastor who's a trafficker? Would you be a prey to your teacher who's a trafficker? And unfortunately, there are children, there are people who, and I'm going to say not just children, but people who are being trafficked by their own families.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to say those pieces, Miss Tawana, and I apologize.
No, 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 no. It's great information. It's great. We can't rush this process tonight. I'm sorry. And y'all know I'm a stickler for time because I respect people's time, but this is a heavy topic and we have to do it. And I'm glad and I'm thankful that you all are on to help this process run even more smoothly. And I'm going to go ahead and go on. Thank you, Dr. Ampah. Thank you, Atiya. Thank you. Thank you. I think some questions were in the chat. So if we could answer some of those in the chat, and if we have time at the end, which I doubt it. I just want to, since the recording just started, right? I missed the beginning introduction. So I'm gonna just reiterate what is human trafficking based on the brochure that the district gave us to talk about Christie House. Human trafficking is the transporting, soliciting, recruiting, harboring, providing, or obtaining of another person for transport for the purposes of forced labor, domestic servitude, or sexual exploitation using force, fraud, or coercion. And Dr. Ampah just said the same exact thing. And remember, in Florida ranks number 3 in the nation for the number of reports of human trafficking. Miami-Dade is number 1 in Florida for the number of reports made to the Florida Abuse Hotline as to minors. Common signs of trafficking. Does the person appear disconnected from family, friends, or community? Has the person had a sudden or dramatic change in behavior? Is the person showing signs of mental or physical abuse? Inconsistent or scripted stories about where they are spending their time? Does the person lack personal possessions and appear not to have a stable living situation? Is the person fearful, timid, or submissive? Those are some of the questions as adults that we need to focus on when we're looking at these different situations so we can be more aware and we can help to stop it. And we will share some of the hotlines that you can call. And now I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Days of the Derek Denzel Days, the second corporation, who's going to share her experiences as the 911 operator. And then I have Allison on the call. Allison, are you there? Allison going to follow up right behind her. If she's
Miss
still there.
Akins, Genesis Hernandez has her hand up. I don't know if she's trying to share or say something on mic.
Okay, Genesis. Okay, so I got to move on. I'm going to turn it over. And listen, I'm sorry I got to rush it a little bit, but we will at least have the recording. So if you want to listen to it again, but the beginning will not be on, and I hate that, but it is what it is. Thank you all so much. Now let me move on to Mrs. Days.
Hello, guys. I'm sorry because I'm on the road. My name is Shiketa Days. I'm a part of CCE. I'm also the CEO of Derek Denzel Days, the second corporation. I'm also a full-time 911 police dispatcher, recently promoted to police communications coordinator. And I've been with Miami Springs Police for over 22 years, going on my 23rd year. And I have, when human trafficking became a thing, I was about maybe 10 or 15 years within my career. I didn't know what human trafficking was, but I learned as I worked my career from receiving calls from families, from women in hotels because we live close to we work close by an airport. So there's a lot of people coming in from different countries. There's people coming in from different states that are being human trafficked. And a lot of these people, like she said, they are being human trafficked willingly and unwillingly. These people are being human trafficked because they see this as a job. They're promised a job and things when they get here. And when they get here, they get stuck in this cycle of it's basically prostitution on a big level. And they pretty much gave detail of everything that happens when you're human trafficked. But human traffic comes in all shapes and sizes, all races, men, women, children, every level. Um, the mental part, the mental health issue with that is sometimes when I'm working my job, I'm very overprotective of my children because of all the things that I hear going on in the world. The human trafficking cases, we get so many. And my kids, they don't understand. But this is one reason why I keep tabs on them. I try to teach them how to move when they're in the streets, um, how to be aware when they're in the streets, because this is a whole different world. And I drop my kids everywhere. I don't let them bus. I don't let them walk. I drop them everywhere. So I'm not going to hold you guys long. That's my perspective. I'm not going to go deep because they've already given you all the details. But make sure that you are educating your children on the importance of knowing the signs and the signals of being human trafficked. And a lot of people have different codes. So if you want to learn a code, if you're in a situation, just say, "Hey, I need to order a box of pizza," and that 911 operator will know what's happening and will get the information that they need to save you. So thank you guys so much for having me on, and thank you to Tawana Akins for always
Yeah.
including us. And guys, you have a good night.
Thank you, Mrs. Days. Thank you,
I
Mrs.
tried to
Days.
sum it up real fast.
You did a great job. So you heard what she said, a box of pizza. That's a great one there because I forgot all about that one. So that's one of my takeaways from Ms. Days. And it says Miami-Dade is #1 in Florida for the number of reports. So she's taking a lot of those reports, right? And she just said it. She's a real 911 operator and just shared her experiences. So we're going to move on. Is Allison on? Dr. O, go ahead with your three, and then we're going to turn it over to Mrs. Duge-Wright. While Dr. O is getting prepared, I want to thank Community Collaboration Exchange members. I know it's really quickly that we have to do this tonight. I see Ms. Joey on, Mrs. Dade. I don't know if Fred Christian on. I don't know who else here from Nicole Jackson, Dr. Ampah, all from Community Collaboration Exchange. They work with many organizations. They are professionals, and they come to the platform every year, every month, to come and support Southridge and Southridge students. And of course, we have our mental health team at the school, which consists of Mrs. Duge-Wright, Dr. Garcia, Dr. O, Ms. Fiallo, Dr. Tejera, and myself. So we're merging the two to make sure that we're all on the same page and we understand what's going on in the world. Next month, we're going to talk about Black history and love, just putting love back in our lives, right? And we work with Mr. Marvin Weeks, who is the initiator of the Plant Love Initiative that we will share on next month for February. Anything else I'm missing, guys? Did I miss anyone? And of course, thanks to our student, Miss Joey of Collective Sisterhood, and we have the Berry University student interns on here. That one month they're gonna come on and they're gonna present to us as well. So they're learning. They're gonna be social workers under the direction of Miss Joey of Collective Sisterhood. She's under Collective Thoughts on this Google Meet right now. And I hope I didn't leave out anybody. And thanks to our parent. We got a parent on here tonight. So thank you, Miss Sylvia Garcia. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Dr. Tejera, I graduated from Berry University too. I see you in the chat. All right, so I'm gonna turn it over to Dr. O.
Okay, we have two very interesting poems related to our topic, and I want my students to present them. Ariana, can you hear us? Yes, please, Ariana.
I tried to tell my camera. I don't know if it's turned on.
No, we don't
No,
see
it's
you,
not
but
turned
it's
on.
okay. You could just
Oh.
speak.
Okay. She Lives, a poem by Deborah Ayes. Trafficking in humans is one of the fastest growing criminal activities in the world, and is stated to be the second largest criminal industry globally. It is utilized for the suppression of human rights, the institutionalization of sexual slavery, forced labor, and to exert control over women's reproduction. It is a global scourge that affects communities from every continent. This is the portrayal of a woman who gained physical and emotional freedom from the chains of slavery that held her captive. She lives by. She's forgotten how
Wow.
to smile. She's
You
urging
breaking up now.
remember
It
the
was good.
past.
Now it's breaking up.
I'm breaking up.
Oh, you're
Can
crying?
you hear me?
Yeah.
Are
No,
you
no, no,
crying?
no, no. No,
Oh,
no, do it again. I'm not gonna
okay.
cry.
Okay, you continue, please.
Yes.
Okay. She looked into urging her muscles to pattern, edged her cheeks upward, tracing the outline of what she sought. She clawed into the darkness that plagued her. She searched for a marble, a sparkle of joy and light. They put her down, stripped her of her purity, treated her like an object, sold her to the highest bidder. Her identity lost in more ways than once. She survived. She escaped. She rebuilt. A new identity, a brave voice fighting for the voiceless, protecting past, past the hate, anger, and nightmares, building on precious lost years, healing from within, telling about love and happiness, walking in freedom, embracing life as the sun rises at dawn. Like a dead seed sprouting to life, she is gradually moving past her horror, learning to find her smile again. Thank you.
Wow.
Very good.
Thank you so much, Ariana. Learning to find her smile again. Thank you. I
Yes.
love that. Dr. O, you got to send a copy of that poem.
Yes. And Genesis, also very interesting poem. Genesis Hernandez. Genesis? Are you there? No, she was with the raised hand. Okay.
Genesis got scared. Okay, what else,
The
Dr.
poem was about
Dr. Warren?
caged dreams, caged dreams. But though people, that's what Ariana just mentioned in the poem, life can happen, but
Yes.
to learn how to live with this and to share the stories and to encourage people and educate people, this is very important thing. And I have very interesting, but it's very long, the face of freedom. The same, that every story has a face, and when we match the story with the face, it becomes meaningful, it becomes important, and we can learn from them, and we can just educate people around. And just this tip about having the symbols, having the signs, and to follow them. I know that just women can show something like from behind, like the feast, or like some special signs when you are in the restaurant eating something. You have just you go to the restroom and you leave some sign over there. This is the tips people should know, and we can learn how to read them. Very important.
Yes. Thank you for summarizing that too, Dr. O. Appreciate you. Everybody signed in. If you're a student, make sure you signed in again, because you had to stay on the whole hour and sign in at the end too. You can't just come in and log out and then think you're going to get the credit. So I'm going to turn it over. Listen, if you have to go, that's fine. But Mrs. Duge-Wright, she has her Kahoot. What's the name of the Kahoot? I can't share my screen and do this at the same. We got to practice some, Ms. Duge-Wright. Like, we got to practice, because I can't even get to my agenda. Say hi to everybody, honey. Say hi to my granddaughter. See, we look like twins. We're twins. All right. So go, Ms. Duge-Wright, it's on you. I hope I didn't leave anybody out. And thankful for Southridge administration and staff and team, everybody. I don't like to leave anybody out. Miss Joy, say hi, Melanie.
Sure, say hi.
Say hi. Okay, Ms. Duge-Wright going to close us out. As soon as she finishes the Kahoot, we're free to go. I'm not going to say anything else because it'll prolong everything. We are thankful for our special guests and everything. We want everybody to join in on Kahoot if you don't have to go. We'll be done by 7:40. I promise.
Probably a little bit earlier. This is
perfect.
This is the Right Way Kahoot Trivia Challenge. The Right Way Kahoot Trivia Challenge. So everybody go ahead and log in, sign in. Let's see if we absorbed and we remembered some simple but important topics. Try to get everybody to participate. You've got about like 30 seconds. Dr. T, there you go. You're trying to be undercover instead of just putting your whole name. I understand. We still know it's you.
You're there.
All right, I see some of my hipsters. Also, I wanted to kind of emphasize, I know some of you are having a hard time signing in the chat. Miss Akins, a lot of the students actually sent me some text from my club, but I screenshot the roster and the list of everybody. So that's a way that we can control who was here in the beginning, and I screenshot it again at the end. So this way we have everybody's name so everybody can get credit. Okay, so those of you who can't log in or can't answer the chat, it's okay. All right, so we're gonna get started. You'll be able to see the code at the bottom, but I don't want to keep us here too long. So let's see. Everybody get your fingers ready. Miss Akins, I didn't see you sign in.
I haven't signed in because I can't find the thing. So
Me too. I can. I will watch. I will get the chat.
Okay. Have you heard of human trafficking? And the answer is before today. So before today's presentation, did you hear of anything related to human trafficking before? Awesome. So a lot of people has heard. What is human trafficking? So I know Ms. Akins gave us a definition. I condensed it a little bit. So pick the best answer. Awesome. I love it when we get 100% correct. You can still join. The code is 812-7902.
With the code in. Oh, yeah.
812-7902. Okay, I see you, Miss Akins. You in fourth place. Let's see. True or false? Human trafficking requires transportation. So are we are we going through traffic to get from one place to the other? You know, I think some people literally take that definition or that term literal, but let's see how many people can get this answer correct. Yeah, false. You don't have to take them far, right? It could be very close. It could be in the same neighborhood. It could be in the same vicinity. So moving them from and I think that's where, thank you to a lot of the guests that spoke earlier. You know, some people think that it's when you take a person from one part of the city and you take them across country, because I think that's how it started. You know, like when they talked about human trafficking, it was always like somebody picked you up in Georgia and they took you all the way to California. That's not necessarily right or true. So, all right, which age group can be victims? Let's see. Let's go. Pop, 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 pop. Everybody should be super quick now. Super quick. Let's see if we can beat that 7:40 time frame that Miss Akins has given us. We could get done before 7:40. Which age group can be a victim? Yes, any age. Does not matter. And any gender is also another one. What is a common vulnerability for children? So what is something that children can find as something that makes them vulnerable? Oh, we're a little bit all over the place. Well, safety at home. I think Dr. Ampah, right? Ampah, sorry, I can't see the name, so I'm trying to remember. So Dr. Ampah, I think she hit that on the head when we assume that because of someone's home, their families, demographics, that it's all good, right? Everything could be all good, but still someone can twist and turn and squeeze into a situation. Dr. T's on a roll. Which industry is not involved in sex trafficking? Which industry is not? Some of these terms are a little, vocabulary, right? So we learned a lot of vocabulary today. So hopefully, yeah, construction, yeah, for sure. All right. What is a sign of forced labor? So let's see, which is a sign of forced labor? We had some good hints to this. Let's see. Oh, yes, verbal abuse. That's that, that social and emotional tie. Which behavior indicates a potential victim? Which behavior, out of all the behaviors that are listed, which one would be considered a potential victim of human trafficking? Definitely very submissive, right? No questioning about anything. What might traffickers restrict? All right, let's see. Let's answer quickly. Reading quick. Remember, the faster you answer, the most correct answer you choose, more points you can get. So let's see who can be on the top of the leaderboard. Miss Akins, where you at, Miss Akins? For sure, social media. What should you do if you suspect trafficking? I don't think about eliminate, ignore. Definitely can't ignore it. Go ahead and everybody answer quickly. Yes, definitely try to report it. All right, 5 more questions to go. Who can be a victim? This is kind of like a re-emphasis of who can this affect. Who can be a victim? Definitely. There is no one demographic. There is no one gender, one age group. What is a sign of physical abuse? Oh, we're getting answers quicker and quicker. Let's go. Let's beat that 7:40 time. Which organization can help victims? Oh, let's see. I did some obvious things that are definitely not a possibility, so everybody should be answering this super fast. There we go. National Human Trafficking Hotline. What is a common tactic used by traffickers? Can somebody put in the chat maybe the contact number or possibly a link or
I have it here. I have it here from when you finish.
Awesome. What is a common tactic used by traffickers? So we can add it in the chat and definitely share it with anybody and everybody. So we have that information. Yeah, creating debt. There's actually a movie about that. I'll share that in the chat. Okay, what is a sign of psychological coercion? What is a sign of psychological coercion? Yes, anxiousness. All right. Oh, Miss Jackson, you was up there. Oh, here come Kayla. Kayla, my hipster. That's my vice president. Last question. What is a sign of social isolation? This can get you on the leaderboard. Answer quickly and answer correctly. Answer quickly and answer correctly. Thank you for participating in the right way. The Hoop Trivia Challenge for today. And so let's see who is on the leaderboard and who has made the podium. Person number 3, Dr. T. Oh, 3rd place. Miss Jenkins, you done ran us down. And top finisher, the top of the podium. All right.
Okay.
Kayla.
That's one of your hip students. One of your hip students.
That is my hip vice president. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we're going to end quickly, but I wanted to share, and I wanted this to be on the video too. I put it in the chat as well. The Miami State Attorney's Office Human Trafficking Hotline is 305 FIX-STOP, FIX-STOP, 305-349-7867. And I see somebody put the National Human Trafficking, Dr. Ampah, thank you, 1-888-373-7888. 1-888-373-7888. So make sure you save those numbers, and you can Google the numbers too. And the movie she put, Miss Duge-Wright put in the chat as well about human trafficking. Thank you all so much. Thank you all for being here. Make sure you have a good night, and I'll see you all soon. Good night.
You called it 740. You called it.
Okay. See? All right, you guys.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.